Hi guys, it's Tracy Newman from the Navigators Tarot. You can find me on sleepywisdom.com. That's my website. You can also find me at Sleepy Wisdom on YouTube and the Navigators Tarot on Facebook and at the Navigators Tarot on Instagram. We are here now this week to see how the feminine energies are going for this week within each and every single one of us. We all house the masculine and feminine energies within, and at this point in time on the earth plane we are all going through a massive amount of change so that we can bring in these beautiful new earth energies that are coming through. And it is coming through each and every single one of us, and as within, so without. That will also start to occur, and you'll start to see the changes on the earth plane. Right, so we'll have a look at the energies for this week for the feminine. Oh, so the feminine has really been going through it, especially in the last few weeks. Yeah. She's really had to break away from the shadow aspect of self. I know that in the last 3 or 4 weeks, a lot of the feminines have really been going through a hard time. I've had phone calls from different people, different feminines, that are just saying they've had a hell month. They really have not been able to cope on any sort of level, on a financial level, on an emotional level. It's been very difficult for a lot of us. And so I feel like a lot of that, it has been about releasing, purging, and letting go of that 3D matrix world, not only in our outer web, because we're also seeing on a financial level as well. We are also having to release it from our emotional lives as well. And any stress or any build-up that has occurred, we are being asked to let go and to let God and to just have faith. So the next few months to a couple of years is going to require us to have a huge amount of faith, and we are being tested on every level. So yeah, so we have the Tower here, the Eight of Cups, which has been about going within, going down very, very deep, which the feminine has had to do. It's required her to face herself, to face her judgments for herself, and to face her own demons and darkness. And she's had to go very deep within to do that work. But you know, at the moment, this is about stepping out of, what I'm getting is that we're stepping out of the linear time matrix that has held us enthralled and also held us in being controlled. We've been controlled by time for a millennia now, for a very long time. But it has been a requirement of that linear time and linear matrix that we've actually been a part of, which we are now breaking free from. So we have here also to the King of Pentacles, but also to the Tower. So it's been quite difficult for us, a lot of us, financially and on an emotional level. But this is preparing us for what is coming in times to come, because things are going to get very, very dark. And as far as in the next few months, it's going to, for some, it will bring enlightenment. For others, it will become even darker, depending on how much you have purged, how much faith you have in God, Goddess, in all that is, and how much you have let go of that old world structure. Because there is no more time. Things are really starting to ramp up, and the energies of the old earth are now being completely transformed. So for a lot of the feminines who have gone through to the darkest depths of themselves, they are now beginning to come out into the light, and also starting to move in a lot more graceful way towards the light than ever before. This will, as faith becomes a part of her everyday life, she will find that her life will begin to change on every level, on a spiritual, emotional and physical level. Everything about where she is at this point in time will begin to change. She is also now too beginning to open her heart, because she has withdrawn the swords from her heart center that has been held with lots of wounding that has happened over a millennia for the divine feminine, that patriarchal system perpetrated by mankind, not humans, mankind, is now at this point in time being heavily transformed. For those of you who need to know the difference between humans and mankind, Edgar Cayce is a good one to start to have a look at that. Google mankind, humans, Edgar Cayce, and you'll understand. So one is from a Leviathan race, and one is from a pure lineage. So one has been in control of the earth plane for some time, and the other is now coming into being. So some of us are being asked to rest at this point in time, especially from those that may take energy from us, because all our energy is now needed to sustain ourselves right now on an emotional and independent level. So if you're being asked to go within, or even if you're being asked to be by yourself, go within and meditate, then it is best to do that, because right now because of the transformation that is occurring, there is a certain amount of patterns that the feminine must go through, in the form of maybe even rest, sleep, and healing. Yep. So deep healing. So that we can balance out the energies. Okay, so what else? We have the Six of Wands, which is the card of victory, the Ace of Pentacles, the Judgment, and the Sun. And if you see this, it's sort of like the Six of Wands is about victory. So even though it's been very, very difficult over the last couple of months for the feminine, we are now beginning to come out into this new world. This is the card of Judgment. But look at that. They're going from the darkness into the light. Because the feminine has had to go within and find her shadow side, has had to also sit in judgment for herself, to release any karmic baggage that she has held on to over the years. But now it's time to move forward. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, on every level. She has had victory over her shadow self, and now moving into much more light and love. This is the Sun. So now she's being warmed. She's going to be warmed by the sun, but it's her inner sun that is going to do that. Her inner light, her inner love light that she is now accessing. Yeah, so interesting. I'll just pull a couple of these Lenormand cards for the feminine. Actually, I have to have a look to see what these are, because I'm not really sure. The Lenormand cards are quite difficult sometimes to read when you're not used to them. Stars. So we have the Stars, which is about guidance and healing through a gentle feeling. I am reassurance, inspiration, and a new path for your exploration. Wish upon a star, for I bring hope and light from afar. So no matter what we're going through at this point in time, the star, even in the tarot, the star means reassurance, and also it can also be a gift and guidance. And it's like wish upon a star. Number 13, the child. So I also think too with the child, with the star, it's like going back to that innocence. So I am young, I am new, I am playful and immature. I am a baby, a kid, a teenager, small, short or tiny, or other ways to describe me. So I really think that that's about going within to go to find that innocence that we have lost over the years, through the earth plane and through the darkness that has actually infiltrated the earth plane, and also infiltrated those masculine and feminine energies. So now we're actually, and inverted those energies and distorted those energies. So now we're actually coming out with the gift of the sun and the stars to reclaim the innocence of the feminine energies. Then we also have the 41 and the 14. So it's like a fox in the hen house, but also we have the wishing well. The fox can often mean, within this Lenormand, yeah. So in a way, it's kind of like a little bit of a devil energy. So we have to also remember that this is always lurking, you know, like a fox in the hen house. But I also think too, at the moment, we are transforming those energies, and we're very aware of what they are, because even though now I think the feminine energies, I think in some way maybe a little bit naive, but I think more it's based on innocence more than naivety. And so it's reclaiming that innocence that we once held, you know, in I guess, what's the word? Yeah, I guess we once held those innocent energies within, but of course, through the distortions, it has been created into something else that has been sometimes in the distorted feminine quite manipulative. So yeah, so it's always a good idea to catch yourself when you know, when you're going down deep, and also being very honest and truthful with yourself. We have 40 and we have 28. So yeah, because we have the mask and we have the masculine here. It's interesting. It's interesting it's in a feminine reading. So in relation to the masculine here, because there's a masculine here as well, I think it's about reclaiming, once again, as I said, that innocence, and not actually going back to wearing masks, the many masks that we have had to to wear for, you know, coping with those patriarchal energies that have been on this earth plane in this male-dominated world. So I really think at this point in time, it is, you know, these cards are asking us to reclaim our innocence as we move forward into these new earth energies, and to drop the masks that we've had to put in place in this patriarchal world to survive. And this is also saying to be very careful what you wish for, because, you know, remember that the devil is always lurking, always wanting to get in somehow. So yeah, so very interesting energies for this week. Yeah, so it's about reclaiming your innocence, and also to letting go of those old shadow parts of ourself. And once we do let go of that, the healing begins. The really deep healing begins, which is exactly what we're going through, so that we can have faith as we move forward into these new earth energies. So yeah, so if you haven't already, hit like and subscribe, and I shall see you next week. Bye for now.